Welcome to the Polish Table. I'm Agnieszka, and today my guest is my aunt, Jolanta Pietrzyga. And today we will be making
blueberry buns.
Blueberry buns, a very, very sweet treat. So stay tuned, we'll show you how to make them. Well, it was kind of an idea thrown up together by a bunch of friends, and we were sitting in a kitchen just cooking our Polish food, normal, routine food, and we were pretty goofy at it. And so we just thought, how great would it be to show the world, you know, Buffalo, our world, how we are at home and how easy it is to make these dishes. They're not complicated. You can have fun. You can buy the stuff at the store, and you can just do it at home and have such a good time with it and share it with everybody so that it's not so intimidating. And so we just came up with this idea and we ran with it.
Tell us about your background. You're from Buffalo.
I'm from Buffalo. My parents came to the United States from Poland, from Wałbrzych, in 1976. So I was a very little girl. I was a baby when I came here. And grew up in a very Polish, neighborhood. My grandmother came, my uncles came, my aunt came, my cousins, and we all pretty much lived close together. But we were brought up on our food, traditions, and just the food is what brought us together. So the smells of the food, I mean, walking home from school and walking through just your yard, and you'd be able to smell, babcia is making zupa, or she's making pączki, or she's making placki, and you knew exactly what you were gonna have before you even walked to the door. And I love that feeling, and I wanna pass that on to people and make them feel that they can cook this at home with normal things at the grocery store, that it's not so hard to do, and that it's so fun to do.
And you're keeping Polish culture alive through food, as generations may have forgotten some of these recipes.
Absolutely, and it just doesn't have to be so rigid. I mean, you can definitely change, like the gołąbki, instead of making it the traditional way, you can do your own. You can add Italian sausage and make gołąbki with, Italian stuff. It doesn't have to be just Polish. It's really, really flexible, and it's so easy to make. And it's a lot of fun.
What's your favorite Polish food?
I like pierogi. I like making the pierogi, the process of the pierogi, and having, different, having my kids make it with me, having family doing it with me, and laughing when we goof up the recipe, or if it doesn't come out right, we're still gonna eat it because it's pierogi. Or if it's not perfect, or if it's falling apart, it's okay. It's not the end of the world.
Family is important to create these recipes together, and not just during holidays.
No, all the time. All the time, not just the holidays. You don't have to have just the holidays to eat Polish food. It can be every day.
And I guess in parting, what would you hope that this program does for people in Buffalo and across the country?
That it takes you back to how it was back in the day when you were little, and a lot of people forgot about it. I mean, I'm second generation, so I know all my recipes. I know what it brought, and I don't have to think about it. There's a lot of people that swayed away from it. I want to bring them back and have them feel that they can do this again. Even though babcia isn't around anymore, or your aunts aren't around anymore, you could still do this at home with your kids. Welcome to the Polish Table. I'm Agnieszka, and this is my guest, my aunt, Ciocia Jola, and we are going to get started with our sweet buns. So we're going to start out with the dough, Ciocia.
With the dough.
Okay, so in this dough, we've got some flour, we've got some powdered sugar, we've got some
butter,
milk, we've got some
yeast,
butter. Very good.
Yes.
And we're gonna put this all together, and you want to have the dough, once you've mixed it all together, you want it to rise, and that's gonna take about 8 hours. So we already had our dough rise, so we're gonna bring it right out of this bowl.
Right.
So we're gonna take it out.
Okay. Put a little bit of flour in the board.
Okay.
It might be sticky. It doesn't rise 8 hours.
All right.
Okay.
I'll bring this in. Kind of want to knead it.
A little bit.
All right. Ciocia, you want half?
Sure.
All right, here you go.
Okay.
So I'm going to mimic what you're doing because I'm not the baker. She is. All right. So when we do the flour, we want to sift it, right, Ciocia? We want to sift the flour?
Yes, you have to sift everything.
Otherwise,
Flour,
it's
sugar,
not going
powder
to...
sugar. It's not going to be light.
Okay.
Okay, I think it's good like this.
Okay. Mine's not so good, Ciocia. we're gonna need a knife, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me get a knife.
It's fine.
It's fine? Okay.
Here. Because you had a pretty big one.
Yeah. It's okay.
It's okay.
See what I mean? She's doing her thing.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So now, once we've got it into these nice little long strips, we're going to break them up. Yeah?
We gotta cut them.
We're gonna cut them. Let me get a knife.
Get some knife. Yes.
All right. So like this?
Yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Little squares.
Yes.
There we go.
And this one too.
This one too. So once we get these in little pieces like this, right?
Stretch the dough.
You're gonna stretch the dough. Okay.
Okay. And then you fill with the blueberries.
Okay. And you can use, Jojo, you can use any kind of filling. You can
Anything.
use strawberries, you can
Yes.
use plum butter, you can use preserves.
Anything.
Anything that you have at home. So, I got one that got away, Chacha. See, look how pretty she's making hers. And then we're going to fold them and pinch them. And roll. All right.
They have to rise for maybe a couple hours.
So once we do this, we have to let them rise, is that right?
Yes.
We have to let them sit still and just kind of take a rest?
Yes.
Okay, before we put them in the oven?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you could put 4, you could put 5, whatever.
The more the better.
The more the better because it's nice and filling and it's tasty and
Yes.
it's a nice sweet
It's a
dessert, but
dessert.
not overly, you can have it with tea, you can have it with coffee.
Absolutely.
And it is kind of fancy. People will come over and they'll say, "You made this?" Yeah, I made this.
Yes, I sure did.
Yep.
No, it tastes so good.
All right. So, Chacha, did you used to make this when you were in Poland?
No.
No? What was your favorite dessert? Did you like pączki?
Yes. Pączki.
Pączki.
Napoleonki.
Napoleons, pączki. Those are the desserts.
Those are good.
Those are really good. Ugh. The Polish bakeries in Poland are amazing. You
Awesome.
walk in, it smells beautiful, the desserts are colorful. It's really beautiful.
Very good.
We tried to make the pączki, didn't we?
We did. It
And they didn't
come
turn
out.
Oh well. So once you get these
See? You
formed, oh, we have one that's missing.
Well.
Let's steal some blueberries from here.
Yeah.
It's okay.
See?
I'm gonna steal some blueberries from here. We got this one little sad one. So once we have these done, you want them to rest again for about an hour or so, and they're gonna grow, they're gonna plump up, they're gonna be big. They'll
Yes.
triple their size.
Yes.
And you could put it actually in the oven, in the warm oven before it's
Yes.
before you even turn it on, and they'll get really, really big. So, once they grow,
Once they're done, you egg wash
okay,
and then make the kruszanka, the top. It's like a sprinkle with sugar, powder,
like a powdered sugar, like a crumble.
Like a crumble,
Okay.
yeah. And that's it. And you put them in the oven 350, half an hour.
All right, well, let's do an egg wash, Chacha.
Egg wash.
All right. So
Fork.
I'm gonna take a little fork and a little spoon. Not just a little fork. We'll just pour it on there. And mix it together, tak?
Tak. You got a brush?
I don't have a brush. Maybe we can just kind of spoon it over and
Spoon
glaze it
it
over.
over.
It's fine.
Yeah, a little bit. Not so
Not
much.
so much.
No.
I like that.
Yes.
On top.
And I'm going to make the crumbs.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
gonna switch over, okay, Chacha?
Okay. We need this.
So inside for the crumbles, on top, you want to put the sugar, butter, and flour. And you mix that up together.
Have to use the hands. You have to.
Doesn't turn out any other way
No.
if you don't use your hands.
You have to use hands.
Okay,
See, it's ready.
that's ready already. Okay. And so the reason why we're doing the little egg wash on top of it is because those little crumbs,
They would
Are gonna
just
stick.
slide down. They're going to stick, yes.
they stick, they won't slide down to the pan of your cookie sheet when you put it in the oven. Typically,
Okay.
you would do this with a brush, but we don't have a brush. And that's okay.
Exactly. It's okay.
okay. That's okay.
See, just
See,
a little
you just
bit.
take a little crumble.
A little bit.
Take a little bit too.
Yeah.
Put that right on top.
Yeah. And that's it. You let it grow and
And then this grows a little bit too.
yeah, that's it.
And that's it. You put it in your oven at 350 for about, what, 30 minutes?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. You kind of want to watch it so it doesn't burn. You want to make sure that they are not stuck together on the sheet.
You just have to separate them.
And just separate them, because otherwise they'll come out and they'll be sticking.
One cake.
And then you'll have one big old cake. So,
Yes.
yeah. So they are pretty much done to go into the oven.
Right.
And so when we come back, we'll show you how this will turn into this.
My road trip to Cleveland was literally a sweet and much needed visit. As soon as my aunt's doors opened, we were hugging, laughing, and just so happy to see each other. We rolled up our sleeves and went to work on these sweet buns. As many of you know, watching dough rise can be as exciting as watching grass grow, but we filled the time by reminiscing of loved ones, family, and just simply catching up. We followed the recipe, rolled the dough, filled the buns, patiently waited for them to rise again. After several cups of coffee and so many laughs along with tears, we were ready to bake our sweet buns. 30 minutes later, they were done. Beautiful, warm, sweet treats. So sometimes a road trip to your aunt's house is necessary. Just goes to show you that taking the time to connect with family is so important. Dziękuję, ciocia. I love you.
Welcome back to the Polish table. I'm Agnieszka with my special guest, my aunt, Ciocia Jola. So today we did some sweet blueberry buns, and we're going to talk about why it's so important to have the yeast.
Yeast. Very important.
Very important. So the yeast typically you're going to mix with
Milk
and the sugar. Okay,
Yes.
so let's go ahead and do that. Any preference first, Ciocia?
No,
No, just milk?
milk. Warm
Okay.
milk.
Warm milk, about a cup.
About a cup.
And
a
we've got
couple tablespoons of sugar.
regular sugar, not powdered
Regular
sugar.
sugar.
Okay.
And the yeast.
And the yeast. And we're going to
And,
put that
and you have to let it rise for about a half an hour
okay.
in a warm place.
In
you
a
know,
warm
you just
place.
leave it in a warm and just leave it.
Mix it a little bit.
Mix it a little bit and let it
Okay.
rise. In the meantime, you do all your other
All
ingredients.
the other prep. Okay.
Yes, prep.
Which does take a very,
Yes.
very long
Yes.
time. I
Yes.
mean, Ciocia, let's just talk about how long it took just to get the dough and for that to rise.
It took about 4 hours.
It took about 4 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have to let it rise again.
Yeah. And then when you're making the buns, you have to let them rise again.
Yes.
So it's
It's a process all day.
a process all day. It's like your babies.
Yes.
You baby them. Okay. So during the holidays, Ciocia, do we make anything that's kind of like the buns? Like for Christmas?
Poppy seed roll.
Poppy seed roll. That's also yeast resin.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes,
That takes
that's
a
a
lot of time.
tradition.
That's a tradition.
That's a tradition.
That's a tradition. Pączki?
Pączki. Oh my gosh.
Pączki.
They are the best.
I love pączki. Pączki I love with the plum filling.
With the plum filling.
And
yes.
powdered sugar.
And powdered sugar.
And lukier. I like the lukier.
Yes,
I like
lukier.
it. Yeah.
But it's awesome. It tastes really good when they're fresh. When
And that's also a lot of work because
a lot of work.
you have to make sure that when you're frying them that they are not raw on the inside. You want to make
Right.
sure that they're done.
They're cooked.
Nobody wants to bite into a pączek and have it be
rolled
raw.
them. Yes, absolutely.
No, it's not okay.
No.
Also with the dough, you want to make sure that we've sifted all our dry products. That's what makes
Yes.
them fluffy.
Fluffy,
And
yes,
beautiful.
and light,
And
very light.
And also, Ciocia, you like to use vanilla cukier.
Yes.
So you can use regular sugar, but you can also use vanilla sugar.
Yeah, you can.
You can.
Yes.
You can. So it does make a tasty treat.
Red
For
and
breakfast or even for just a like
oh
a
my
crumpet
gosh,
for dessert.
yes, for
Yeah,
a cup of coffee at night or something,
Absolutely.
you know, cup of tea.
absolutely.
Absolutely. It tastes really good
It
when
tastes
it's
really good.
when
When it's
you
warm.
oh, when you take out of the oven, it smells so good and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have one.
And then you want to have another one and another one.
And another one.
So dziękuję, Ciociu, for coming and helping me bake on the Polish table today. We have more to come, and we will be right back. Dziękuję, Ciociu.
Thank you, honey, Mwah, for inviting me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome back to the Polish table. I'm Agnieszka, and today my guest is my aunt, Ciocia Jola, and we are going to be making pork cutlets, also known as schabowe. So let's get cracking away, Ciocia.
Let's get going.
So we want to get a nice flat cutlet. So what we use is just like a meat tenderizer, and you want to, you just kind of break it down, Ciocia.
Yes.
You know how to do this, Ciocia.
Of course I do. I know. They're done.
They're done. Well, we can flip them over one more time, maybe. Flip
Okay.
it over.
Pretty nice and
Alright.
thin, you know.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Nice. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. I'm gonna do a little salt and pepper on each side. I'll take it. Perfect. Very nice. Flip it over. Little salt. Dziękuję, Ciocia.
You're welcome, honey.
Looks good. I'll take that little guy. And we're gonna make him big.
A little bit.
A little bit pepper. Okay. Ja go wezmę. I'll take it. Okay.
Okay.
So we're using some flour. We're gonna coat it, the cutlet, front and back, each side actually. And then we are going to dip it into the egg yolk. Both sides. Let it get nice and coated, nice and evenly. Looks good. And you can use panko breadcrumbs, or you can use regular breadcrumbs, seasoned breadcrumbs, whatever you have. You want to get that nice coated feeling on there so that it's even. Ciocia, can you just check the oil and make sure everything is okay?
Yes, it is.
All
it's
right.
good. It's
You want
nice
the
and-
oil to be nice and hot. Does this
It
feel
is.
good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to place this on here. Ciocia, you're going to hand me that other little kotlecik.
Yes.
And I'm going to do this again. I've got a fork right here.
Right.
You can flip it if you need to.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
All right. 1, 2, 3. So schabowe are really popular, especially, they're so easy to make. Everybody makes them. Pork cutlets, chicken cutlets, turkey cutlets, right?
That's true. Yes.
And we do them all the time. It's found in Polish restaurants. Pretty common plate.
It's easy
comfort
to make
food.
it.
And it's easy to make, and it's
Yes.
comfort food. It's nice food. It's good food. All right, we're going to put this inside here. All right.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to move this over. Perfect. I'll wet my fingers. So we want this to be nice and golden. I like mine a little bit crusty on the side, so a little burned because it's yummier. Right?
Yes.
Ciocia, do you, what else do you like to serve with your kotleciki?
I like mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. Yes, mashed
my
potatoes.
favorite.
It's my favorite too. I'm going to take this.
You know what? Buraki.
Buraki cikłe. Beets.
Beets.
Beets. Have you ever done like veal kotleciki? Like veal
Yes.
cutlets too?
Yes.
Yeah?
I have. Yes.
All right. One
But I
there.
prefer this one.
So do I.
You know?
I prefer the pork.
Yes.
All right. You can see that it's getting nice and golden. One of the best places here in Buffalo that I've had the schabowe is Kibzak's. This is where my shower was.
Really?
Yeah. It's so good. The pork chops were juicy. They were big. They were really, really good. All right.
A little bit more. A couple more minutes.
Couple more
and
minutes
it's
more.
ready.
It starts to sizzle.
Yeah.
So yeah, buraki ćwikłe are really good with it. Mashed potatoes are good with it. You could even eat it on a sandwich if you want to.
Absolutely.
On a good bun.
Yes. Some French fries on the side.
French fries too. How do you like your French fries, Ciocia?
Crispy.
Do you dip them in ketchup or do you dip them in mayonnaise?
None. Not even.
None?
Nope.
Wow.
Ranch dressing. I do like it. I don't know why.
It is really good. Yeah, ranch is good, Ciocia.
Funny, but it's
I'm
true.
surprised.
Ranch dressing.
Awesome. All right. So we like to kind of, you could probably do a third one on there. You don't want to crowd them, otherwise they stick together.
No, it's
Then once
right.
we've done a couple minutes on each side and they're golden, you want to turn on your oven for about 350 degrees. Put it in there for about 5-6 minutes to make sure that the meat inside has been thoroughly cooked. And then it's done. Pretty simple. It's pretty fast. Very fast.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You plate this with some really delicious
gnocchi, or you could plate it with French fries, or you could plate it with kopitka, mashed
Anything.
potatoes, miseria,
Yes.
buraczki. All right,
That's
so I'm
what
gonna
you
put
have.
it right. I think it's ready.
It is.
All right, Cha-Cha.
It's nice and puffy.
Yes, it is. Turn it down. And there you go. Schabowe.
Yum.
Yum. I'm gonna put this right over here so that it doesn't pop at us, okay? And then look, garnish it with some dill to make it fancy. Easy peasy. Or you could do a little parsley. Here you go.
And you have a meal.
And you have a meal. Delicious.
Yeah.
Want to take a bite?
No.
She said no. Well, I'll take a bite.
Take a bite.
I'll take a bite. I'll take a bite to see if it's good.
I'm sure it's good.
Well, I'm gonna
Okay.
know if it's good.
Okay, I take a bite.
See? You have to guilt your chochas into eating with you. Here, this one's for you. Palutki,
you.
little one. Chocha, I'm so very happy that you came to visit with me and to
Me
cook
too.
with me.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome, Chocha.
Thank you.
I love it.
I love you.
It's so good. Ale
Sure is
dobre.
good.
Smacznego.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yum.
So, once again, if you want to look at the recipes or find out what we did, please look at my Facebook page, The Polish Table with Agnieszka and Friends. And once again, Chocha, I want to thank you so much for coming. Dziękuję.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
I smacznego.
Really is good.